Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John, and today I've got another book tag video for you. And the book tag video I'm going to be doing today is the Local Haunts book tag. And this is a book tag that centers around the book Local Haunts, a horror tube anthology. Every single one of the stories in this is written by a fellow horror tuber such as Dane Cobain, Spooky Noodles, a.k.a. Nicholas Gray, Marie McWilliams, Regina St. Clair, who also Regina's Haunted Library, who also edited this book. The proceeds to this will go to First Book. It is an organization that is designed to help kids to get the things they need to be able to learn and to grow in their learning process. Like I said, I've described that a little bit better in the original video that I did for this, but that's basically what it is for. Anyway, I believe there are 10 questions, and they are all based around some of the stories here in the Local Haunts anthology. So let's go ahead and get underway. Number 1, Local Haunts. Tell us about a creepy or spooky place that's close to you. Now, the first thing that came to mind, I live in Bakersfield. The first thing that came to mind was I had always heard stories about the Padre Hotel. Now, when I first moved to Bakersfield in 2005, the Padre was a rundown hotel that basically it wasn't operational. Basically, what was living there was homeless people that were living in the facility or in the building. You had your drug dealers, you had your prostitutes, hookers, whatever you call it, that were basically using that as their habitat. All right. Now, I'm not sure when they decided to start renovating the Padre, but I heard tales that when they did start, or when they were renovating in 2008, I heard tales that the construction workers' tools would go missing or be misplaced or something. So there's that little bit of paranormal activity perhaps right there. Or it could have just been somebody was stealing the tools. But once the building was, once it was renovated, there have been tales about a lot of paranormal activity taking place on the 7th floor. And of course, this is also a hotel that I believe there have been a couple of, and trigger warning on this, but I believe there have been a couple of suicides that have occurred over the years. So yeah, there's that little bit of spookiness to the, and the paranormal activity to the Padre Hotel. Other than that, I really need to dwell into the haunted history of Bakersfield, and maybe can come back with a little bit more on it. I have also heard tales that Bakersfield High School itself is also haunted, and there are a couple of other places as well, but the one that came to mind first for me was the Padre Hotel. All right, number 2, A Stone's Throw. Tell us about a story with a young female character who has a tough life. For that one, I am going to once again go with Uncle Vampire. It is about a young girl of about 15, maybe 16 years old, and she and her sister are being visited at night by their uncle. And when I say visited at night, I mean in their rooms, and you kind of get the drift of what I'm talking about, all right? And they create this illusion to deal with it, that he is a vampire coming into their room at night to suck their blood. I don't think you can get any more of a situation of a character, of a young female character having a tough life, unless you do, of course, want to include The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum as well. But I'm going to go with Uncle Vampire on this one, okay? All right, number 3. Tell us a story. Crowthorne. Tell us a story about a harmful friendship. I'm going to go way back with this one, because I'm going to talk about The Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. I don't think you could get any more of a harmful friendship. You know the story, right? You got these two guys. I believe you got Fortunato. He's kind of a goof, all right? And then you got, what is the guy's name? Montresor, I believe his name is. Montresori. And he thinks that Fortunato, or he believes or whatever, that Fortunato has insulted him. Now, if you haven't read the story, guess what? Spoiler alert coming. He basically gets Fortunato good and drunk, and while he is getting him good and drunk, he is also walling him up inside the walls of this castle, or this whatever. I'm not sure if it's a castle or if it's just a regular building, but he walls him up for all eternity. You know, that's how he gets his revenge on his friend who he thinks insulted him. How freaking harmful, much more harmful can you get, okay? One other that comes to mind, and this is not a book, but it's a story, is the movie Monster with Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci, which, of course, was about the serial killer Eileen Wuornos and her friendship with, what was her name? Shelby, I believe her name was. I don't remember her last name, but yeah, that was a pretty harmful friendship too. But for this, I'm going with the Cask of Amontillado. All right, number 4, Screen 8. Tell us about a movie that scares you and that's based on a true story. For that, I am going with the French extreme horror film Inside, also known as L'Intérieur. My French is horrible, so forgive me for that. As you can see, the title of it is up on the screen. So you can pronounce it yourself. This is about, and yes, this is not, now the story itself is not the true story of it, okay? This is about a woman who is getting ready to go into the hospital, I believe the day after Christmas, to induce labor. So she's at her home, and she is visited, home invaded by this woman who is bound and determined to take this woman's baby away from her. And like I said, she has not had the baby yet. It doesn't matter to this woman. She is still going to take this child from her. This is a terrifying and bloody film. If you have not seen this film, I just want to prepare you. This is one bloody, gory movie, all right? And it is an absolutely terrifying movie. And when I say it is based on a true story, there have actually been documented cases of women who have had their children, again, trigger warning, I'm sorry for this, but have actually had their children ripped from their wombs by someone. One of the most famous was Bobby Joe Stinnett, which I believe took place probably been about 10 years ago, maybe. And I believe this took place in Indiana or Illinois. I'm not exactly sure which. But yeah, that is a movie. One reason that movie just terrifies the hell out of me. And yet I absolutely love the movie for what it is. And that is just an absolutely fantastic horror film. All right, let me see what else. All right, 5, The Mount of Death. Tell us about a story where a drink plays a role in the plot. I don't know if it'd be a drink, but I'm going to say alcoholism, which I don't know if that's cheating or not. Now, somebody said The Shining. I'm sure a lot of people could say The Shining. I'm going to go with the sequel to The Shining, Dr. Sleep, because it basically carries on in a hereditary fashion with Danny Torrance, who basically picks up where his dad left off with the alcoholism and the anger. And so this is his story. I'm not going to go into a full plot detail about it, but yes, the alcoholism does play a big part in Dr. Sleep. Maybe not as big as The Shining, but it definitely plays a large part in it. So that's what I'm going for, is Dr. Sleep. Okay. All right. Okay, number 6, The Blocked Cellar. Tell us about your favorite horror, paranormal, or true crime YouTube channel. Oh, for that one, because I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to name I'm not going to name a horror tuber or book tuber, okay, that I'm subscribed to, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, because you guys have got some great content out there. It's so hard to choose, okay? For this one, I'm going to go with one called Top 5 Scary Videos, all right? And the reason I picked this is because I love the content they come up with. Their top 5s are so cool. It's not just, top 5 80s horror movies or top 5 90s horror slasher villains. They come up with some cool stuff like top 5 scary legends from like Russia, like from Alaska, England, Ireland. So many different top 5 scary videos. SCP monsters. I didn't know what an SCP monster was until I heard about top 5 scary videos. So that's why I'm picking it as my favorite, is because it's just got some awesome content. All right. And sure, you might not agree with some of it, and that's okay. But I enjoy the channel, man. Number 7, The Night Watchman. Tell us about a story that's set partly at night. For this one and the next one, I'm going to go with 2 novels by Hunter Shea. The first one I'm going to go with is this one, and that is Creature. Creature is a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, giant monster in the woods tale. It has quite a twist of an ending. And, of course, a lot of this does take place at night in the woods, in the wilderness, which is going to lead me, so that's why I'm choosing that for this. And that is going to lead me into number 8, Alone Among the Gum Trees. Tell us about a story that takes place in the wilderness. You can't get any more wilderness than the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. And I am talking about The Jersey Devil, which is again by Hunter Shea. So yes, what more could you ask for about a story in the wilderness than the legendary Jersey Devil, Maleet's 13th child. Yes, sirree, Bob. Ha 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 ha. All right, next up, number 9, Highway to Hell. And this is based on a story, or this is from a story by Nicholas Gray. Spooky noodles. Had to give the guy a mention here because he's just an awesome dude. All right, tell us a story, or tell us about a story that involves music. I'm going to go with Todd Kiesling's The Final Reconciliation, and this is about a band named the Yellow Kings, and they're in a very mysterious woman, all right? I have reviewed this book. I love this book, absolutely, and it is kind of a rock and roll retelling of The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers, and of course it also incorporates characters created by Ambrose Bierce, which is of course Hastur and Carcosa, the land of Carcosa, all right? So, number 10, At the End of the Rope. I am supposed to tag some BookTube or HorrorTube friends. I'm not going to tag anybody specifically. All right, but if you want to do this tag, and if you have read the Local Haunts thing, even if you have not read the Local Haunts thing, the prompts on here are very easy. Please, by all means, do this tag because it is absolutely fantastic. All right, that is going to be it. Did I just say I don't think I've ever said I in my life. Now I've said it about 4 times. Anyway, that is my tag for the Local Haunts book tag. All right, thank you guys for watching. The working week is getting ready to start. It is Sunday afternoon. Monday's coming up fast. Thank you. All right, and have a great day. Bye.